Reach your ambition as high as the skies. Dream it as high as the skies. Because if you fall, you're going to fall among the stars. Independence can only be obtained and secured by a nation that has its spirit raging with determination, independence or death. Learning without thinking is useless, but thinking without learning is very dangerous. Do good to another man, even when they do not do you good. Another will certainly do you good. If there is still shame and fear in one's heart to do good, there will certainly be no progress at all. We liberate our nation's heart inside of Indonesian independence. Ibn Saud liberated Arabians' heart inside of Saudi Arabian independence, one by one. Stalin liberated Soviet Russians' heart inside of Soviet, one by one. Don't ever forget the history. It will make and change who we are. It was the concept of nationalism that Indonesia was established on. Not the Javanese, not the Sumatran, not the Bornean, Sulawesi, Bali, or others, but the Indonesian, that together became the foundation of one nationalist nation-state. This country, the Republic of Indonesia, does not belong to any group, nor to any religion, nor to any ethnic group, nor to any group with customs and traditions, but the property of all of us from Sabang to Merauke. 1,000 old men can only dream, but a young man is able to change the world. Rose never propagandizes its fragrance, but its own fragrance spreads through its surrounding. The political skill of man has been far outstripped by technical skill, and what lie has made he cannot be sure of controlling. The result of this is fear, and man gasps for safety and morality. Yes, we are living in a world of fear. The life of man today is corroded and made bitter by fear. Fear of the future, fear of the hydrogen bomb, fear of ideologies. Perhaps this fear is a greater danger than the danger itself, because it is fear which drives men to act foolishly, to act thoughtlessly, to act dangerously. Not so very long ago, we argued that peace was necessary for us because an outbreak of fighting in our part of the world would imperil our precious independence, so recently won at such great cost. No task is more urgent than that of preserving peace. Without peace, our independence means little. The rehabilitation and upbuilding of our countries will have little meaning. Our revolutions will not be allowed to run their course. The worst cruelty that can be inflicted on a human being is isolation. I hate imperialism, I detest colonialism, and I fear the consequences of their last bitter struggle for life. We are determined that our nation, and the world as a whole, shall not be the plaything of one small corner of the world. Never, ever forget history. Let us not be bitter about the past, but let us keep our eyes firmly on the future. The defense of the revolution is the defense of the people. Our socialism does not include extreme materialistic concepts, since Indonesia is primarily a God-fearing, God-loving nation. Our socialism is a mixture. We draw political equality from the American Declaration of Independence. We draw spiritual equality from Islam and Christianity. We draw scientific equality from Marx. We must have a blueprint not only for a guided economy, but for a social order based on justice and ensuring the well-being of the people. We must all build national unity, build all revolutionary forces into one powerful wave to sweep away our main enemy, political imperialism and economic imperialism. I am not an economist. I am not a business technician. I am a revolutionary, and I do what is right for an economic revolutionary. Am I not peaceful? We want to be free, completely free. Free to be free. We want to be left alone. Even a child, if he looks at a map of the world, can point out that the Indonesian archipelago forms one unity. On the map, there can be shown a unity of the group of islands between two great oceans, the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean, and between two continents, the continent of Asia and the continent of Australia. If I am not mistaken, it was a British poet who said that no one is properly dressed unless he wears a smile. I don't want to be a dictator, because it is contrary to my own conscience. I am a Democrat, but I don't desire democratic liberalism. On the contrary, I want a guided democracy. I have a conception of my own, which I will put at the disposal of the party leaders if required. We are a fighting nation, continually struggling to overcome diseases from within, and to face up to foreign intervention from without. I love life. Like David Copperfield, I was born amidst poverty and grew up in poverty. I did not own shoes. I did not bathe in water from a tap. I did not know about forks and spoons. We shake the skies, shake the land, and stir the oceans, so we don't become a nation living on just 2 cents a day. A nation that works hard. Not a tempe nation, not a coolie nation. A nation that is willing to suffer for the sake of buying ideals. The ducks walked in flocks, but the eagle flew alone. What has been agreed politically should never be debated aesthetically. If in a person there is still a sense of shame and fear to do something good, then the guarantee for that person is that he will not meet him with a single step of progress. Engineers bachelors who work for other people are included in the group proletariat, because he sells his labor to other people, and the means of production that he uses for work are not his property. A great nation is a nation that appreciates the services of its heroes. L'exploitation de l'homme par homme. A true nationalist whose nationalism does not arise merely as a copy or an imitation of Western nationalism, but arises from a love for humans and humanity. If the woman is good, then the country will be victorious. But if women are bad, then the country collapses. What first led to colonization was the permanent lack of life supply in one's own homeland, as Dietrich Schaefer said, lack of sustenance. That is the reason the people colonize the lands, where they can get that sustenance. That is also what makes the ontbouding of the colonized countries by the colonizing countries, as an item that is hard to believe. People will not easily let go of their baskets of rice, if releasing the baskets brings death. In 1882, Ernest Renan had opened his opinion about the notion of nation. According to this poet, the nation has a life, a principle of reason, which occurs from two things. First, the people had to go through a history together. The two people must now have the will to live as one. It is not the type or race, nor the boundaries of the country that make the nation. The nation is a unity of temperament that occurs from the union of things that have been lived by the people. Nationalism is an intention, a people's realization that the people are one group, one nation, that what caused the colonization was not the desire for fame, not the desire to see a foreign world, not the desire for independence, and not because the country of the people who carried out the colonization was too crowded with a large population, as Gustav Clem had taught, but from its origin. Colonization is especially about sustenance. We must have a blueprint not only for a guided economy, but for a social order based on justice and ensuring the well-being of the people.